Yeah, I'm living my best life. Made a couple M's, you know. Said I'm living my best life. Said I'm living my best life.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Random Opinions, Reaction, and Reviews. If you don't know who I am by now, you gotta get with the program. Today, I'm coming to do a review on the episode that just aired today on General Hospital. Today's date was July 10th, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we open up with scenes with Sasha sitting at the Metro Court at a table by herself, and Henry Archibald, or Shiloh as other people like to call him, walks up to the table and begins to introduce himself. And he sees that she's a little lady sitting alone. And I guess this man is so full of himself, he believes that every woman is vulnerable to him. So he just sits his self down on the table like she invited him or something, and begins to introduce himself. And he's like, "Oh, you look like you are down and out. Like, can I help you? Da 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 da." And Sasha lets him know, "Look, I'm fine, you know." And before she can get another word out, Michael comes and slams Shiloh to the ground and basically tells him, "Look, dude, stay away from her. If you don't, then maybe next time you won't accidentally fall. Maybe you'll accidentally break your neck." So Shiloh's like, "Man, are you trying to threaten me? You see this guy, he's trying to threaten me." And Sasha's like, "Nope, it seemed like an accident to me." Um, and so she's like, "Why don't you be about your way? Don't ever sit at my table again. If you do, I'll have the manager kick you out." You know. And so he just is like, "I don't know what this man has told you about me, but everything that he's told you is wrong. I'm this and that, and I try to help people, and you know, I seen you was sitting here alone by yourself." And Sasha was like, "Look, I don't care who you are, don't ever just sit up at my table again." And so he walks off. And Michael is so impressed, you guys, the way Sasha just stood up for him and had his back totally and completely without a question. She just was down for him. And you know, Michael needs a girl like that. And today I started to really like that he was with Sasha. Sadly to say, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I start to like him with Sasha a little bit. And we all know that Michael knows that Nina isn't really Sasha's real mother. They haven't discussed that because I feel like Michael is just now getting involved with this girl. They don't have an actual relationship going on. They just enjoy each other's company, so he feels like it's not his place to ask and find out what she meant by that. But he does know that there is something up. And I feel like Michael can totally and completely accept Sasha for who she is. You know, I feel like this is not a deal breaker for the relationship once this secret comes out. I also feel like, if anything, Michael will be more of a boundaries person. He wants her to know, "Look, I am open to honesty, and I shut down when, you know, the person that I love most, or the person I like most, is disloyal or dishonest." Like, he likes honesty at his best. You know, this is why Sabrina and him didn't work out. This is why Nell and him definitely didn't work out. You know, the only relationship Michael had that really worked out was the relationship that he had with his first girlfriend, Abby, who passed away. And then Kiki, like, the relationship didn't work out with Kiki because of honesty and disloyalty. You know, it was a lot of other stuff that played into that. But, you know, for the most part, most of his girlfriends, if the relationship didn't work out, it was because they were not honest with him. So I feel like her keeping this secret isn't necessarily a deal breaker, but he's gonna want her, if he becomes invested in a relationship, to be completely open and honest with him. So we'll see what happens from there. Michael and Sasha get to talking, and she's like, "Look, never in a million years would I even go for a guy like that. And I definitely wouldn't go for a guy like that now that I'm with." And then she stops herself, and Michael's like, "No, no, 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 go on now that I'm with you." And she's like, Yeah, so they Michael asked her to go on this vacation with him, minus business meetings and all this other stuff. It's just a getaway for them to get to know each other, and she takes him up on that. So we have scenes today with Mac, Chase, DA Scorpio, and Sam. And DA Scorpio showed up because Diane summoned him to the PCPD because of Sam. And Sam has evidence that proves that Shiloh coerced Carol into making a statement and basically tricked her into making this statement. And she brings this information up to DA Scorpio in front of Chase and Mac. And the DA is basically saying, look, I have to argue this in front of the judge. There is no way the judge will go for this because there was a third party involved, and this is hearsay. And the third party would be Sam. He's saying that, you know, a prosecutor can prove or even allude to the fact that they coerced Carol into making a statement. She probably could have been held at gunpoint for all they know, because Sam is the one that videotaped it. You know, she is the one that went there and got the information. So they're wanting the BCPD to get in on this. And Sam is like, look, this isn't going to work because the BCPD is in Shiloh's group. They're all under the same umbrella. And so she's like, we're going to have to subpoena Carol to Port Charles and work from there. And Scorpio doesn't think it's going to work. He doesn't even think they have a legit case. So he basically tells Sam there's nothing we can do. And Chase is getting anxious. He's upset. He starts to yell at Scorpio and Mac. And Scorpio is like, look, Mac, let me go talk to you and give Chase a breather. And when they leave out the room, Sam looks at him and is like, dude, you need to get it together. There's no way we can argue this with you having an invested interest in a person that's involved in this case. You need to try to be as neutral as possible, basically. And, you know, he's like, you're right. They start trying to think of a way in order to be able to use Carol and, well, use her statement. And so they thought it'd be a good idea to get Diane involved and have Diane use Carol as a witness in Willow's case to show that Shiloh is unfit to be a father and that the baby would be in imminent danger with him. And basically Scorpio's like, look, we can't do that either. And he's like, the only way we could do that is if you bring in a key witness that can corroborate her story. And so I'll get back to that. We have scenes today with Sonny and Jason. Now, Jason just now, like, he comes in the office with Brick and Sonny discussing Dev and how they're going to get him in to stay in the U.S. And Dev has drawn a birth certificate, driver's license, what else? An ID, everything that this boy could possibly need, a social security number. And so Jason is like, look here, Sonny, I get that you have an invested interest in seeing this kid succeed, but you've already gone out your way to make sure that he has no problems while he's in the U.S. Why not move him out the house? Because he can be a danger to Carly, the new baby, Josslyn, Avery. Like, you're not thinking straight. And Sonny is like, look, I see something in this kid. I want to keep him close. I want to keep him near, make sure everything is okay. And Jason is like, Sonny, I don't think you're thinking right with this. And you guys, look, like, I notice when I'm talking a lot that I use my hands because that's how I talk. And I've been seeing in videos that I've been editing, my hands getting away, and I've been seeing this. And I don't know if you guys see it. And even in my face. I actually have a skin condition, and it's not a deadly type thing or anything like that, but I have eczema. And eczema can get really itchy. Your skin looks like this, cracks, like gray areas. For white people, it could be very like red or pinkish, but for me, since I'm black, you get gray or dark brown. But yes, like it gets all in my face. When I was a kid, it used to get so bad. And I just thought I'd mention that to you guys because I be getting so embarrassed when I be editing my videos and then I see this. Like, it looks so ugly. I do have a steroid that I'm being treated that helps like get rid of it, but for some reason I think I need something stronger because it keeps coming back. So yeah, I thought I'd let y'all know that because literally I do be getting embarrassed when I be seeing my little hand and I'm like, oh, that looks so ugly. But now you guys know, so don't judge me. It's a skin condition. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So Jason just has his reserves, and while he's talking about, you know, how he feels about Devin moving in the mansion with Sonny, Cardi drops Devin off. Did you guys see the way Jason stared Devin down? Like, he had that, it wasn't the stone cold look, but he just like, I would not want to look over and see Jason looking at me like that. Like, Jason, he's always going to try to protect his family, and that includes Sonny and Cardi. So he's always going to have one eyebrow up and the other eyebrow down. Like, I tried to do the rock. Yeah, one eyebrow up, the other eyebrow down. He's always going to be on the lookout for danger when it comes to his family. That's just how he is. So yeah, Brick decides to go over all this information with Dev, and so they leave the room. And then Jason gets a call, and it was the call that he's been waiting for. And we didn't know who it was, but I assumed it was Sam. So I guess Sam filled him in on everything that was going on. And so Jason goes back to the PCPD, and they're like, dude, do you know that there's a warrant out for your arrest? Like, and Jason's like, look, I'm here to surrender myself, but I also have a witness that can corroborate Carol's story. So I'm hoping that the laws come down against this Shiloh character. I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of his smug look. I'm sick of everything about this guy. So yeah, so I guess the witness that he bought, because I'm so dumb, I didn't even think, oh yeah, Harmony is the witness that we need. Like, that just went over my head. So I'm like, oh, who is the witness? Who is the witness? And then I see the previews and I'm like, oh, duh. So I'm stupid.
But you dumb. You stupid?
Jason also mentioned to Sonny that Sonny should look into Dev's background. And the way Jason was so reserved, it scared me, because I'm like, Jason was looking at this boy like he was Diego. Remember Diego, you guys, who came to town, and he was the foster son of Courtney, and then he became Alcazar's son, and Sam shot him and we thought he was dead, and then all of a sudden he comes back as the text message killer. Like, that's how Jason was looking at this boy. Like, because remember, Jason didn't even like Diego, but he gave Diego chance after chance because Diego was a teenager at the time, and Jason doesn't target kids. So I don't know, it just scared me. Like, I hope we don't have another Diego on our hands. I'm hoping not. They seem like they're trying to get somewhere with this whole Josslyn storyline, so we'll see what happens from there. Let me know what you guys think. You know, Cam comes to pick Josslyn up so that they can go to Oscar's will, and Josslyn is not feeling it, you guys. She just doesn't want to be there, but she knows she has to. She has to be strong for Oscar. And Cardi asked her, look, do you want me to go with you? I can go. I can even sit in the car if you want me to. And I'm like, look, Cardi, don't nobody want you at the Quartermains, because whenever Cardi goes to the Quartermains, she's shady as hell. She is disrespectful to Monica. Like, don't nobody want her there. So I'm glad that the writers didn't put her in that predicament, because Cardi just doesn't know when to chill. Look at how she's treated Ava after losing Kiki. Like, she still, like, she let Ava bait her into an argument when she should have just, like, turned the other cheek and say, you know what, I know you're grieving your daughter, but I'm just gonna let you da-da-da-da-da. No, Cardi just, no, I'm just glad they didn't send her to the Quartermains, because she just don't have no filter, and she don't know when to stop and when's not the right time. You know what I'm saying? So Cardi ends up going to work to the Metro Court, and she runs into Sasha. She asks Sasha if she could take a seat, and they get to talking about Michael. And Sasha is just happy that she's met Michael. Michael puts a smile on her face. He makes her happy. And Cardi is like, I wouldn't say bonding because I think that's too much of a strong word, but I think Cardi likes Sasha for now. You know, we don't know how it's going to be in the future, but she is basically trying to get Sasha to stay in Port Charles long term. And by the time they end up finishing their conversation and Cardi ends up leaving, Sasha decides to book an annual membership with Valentino. So I guess she's going to be staying. Like I said, I'm not mad at that. So everybody gathers for Oscar's reading. Before I get to that, I wanted to mention Drew and Kim's scene. So Drew and Kim meet at Oscar's meadow, and Kim is deeply saddened and disgusted with herself for what she did to Drew. And Drew was pretty pissed, and he had every right to be pissed. You know, I thought he was going to be a little hard on her by the way he like was laying into her and telling her, look, you know, you wanted to have a baby without my consent and you were wrong and da 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 da. But he didn't lay into her. At the end, he forgave her, I believe, and he decided to move on from that terrible mistake. And I think that's what Kim needs. She needs stable people in her life right now because her world is spinning out of control and she doesn't know who she is any longer without Oscar. And I completely understand. You know, she was, I wouldn't say super young when she had Oscar, but for most of her life, Oscar has been in her life. So she's been used to him. She knows how she is as a mother because she's adjusted to being a mother. I don't know if you guys know, for men, it's different, but for women, when they have a child, they completely adjust to that child. They can't go out like they normally would. They have to schedule people to watch their child if they're gonna go out. You know, they can't, I don't know, I don't smoke, but they can't just up and pick up a cigarette or something to smoke because their child is there. They can't, it's certain things parents, mothers especially, just can't do, or they have to pretty much find a way around when they have a child because they have to take that child into consideration. And Kim has done that most of her life, so she doesn't know how to go on without Oscar. You know, she's lost herself. And Drew is telling her, look, you need help. And she's like, I hope you understand what I did. And I also met with a therapist today. I'm seeking treatment. I hope you forgive me. And so they end up going on to the Quartermain's mansion for the reading. Michael left early with Sasha for the reading. So we have Ned. We have Drew, Josslyn, Alexis, Kim, Monica, Olivia, and Cameron, who all gather for the reading of Oscar's will. Now, as we know, Oscar is a Quartermain, so I know we were gonna have to see who the shares go to. But when they start handing out when Alexis started reading the will and handing out different things for Oscar's will, I'm like, this is all Oscar had to give to people? So get this, he gave Ned and Olivia his keyboard to give to Leo. Sweet, but I'm like, really? They could have just went and bought him that. I mean, they're rich, for God's sakes, you know. Michael gets a picture of him and Wiley, which I'm sure means everything to Michael, and it will mean everything to Michael once Michael finds out that Wiley is actually his son. Monica got a book on Cleveland, which is the hometown Oscar was raised in, and so she's like, well, I know where I'm gonna be going for my next vacation. So Cam was the only person that got something significant, something that I would have liked. He got Oscar's car. And Cam, his reaction was like sad and funny at the same time. Like, I wanted to cry, but at the same time I laughed because I wanted to cry because I just seen so much emotion in his face. He was crying, so it made me want to cry. But he was so happy he got this doggone car. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, he done got up and everything. Like, he was happy. And I'm like, man, Oscar was a good friend to give a car to Cameron, a car that his parents bought him, you know, a car that he could have gave back to his parents, or he could have passed on as an antique to his sister. Like, okay, I get it, you like it, you love it. I'm like, he could have even gave that car to Josslyn. She needs it. But you know, then again, Josslyn is rich too, so she really don't even need it. Cam, actually, thinking about it, makes sense that Cam was given the car because Elizabeth isn't rich and Franco, as we know of, isn't rich either. So, makes sense. Joss was given a compass that she gave Oscar. And when she received that compass, it brought back so much memory for her. She couldn't take it any longer, so she had to leave. And she went to Oscar's meadow, and Cam followed her. And they, you know, she's like, man, I gave this compass to Oscar so that he would always find his way home, but this time it's legit. He's gone. He will never be able to find his way here, you know. And that just kind of hurt my little soul. I'm like, oh, poor Josslyn. And Cam was there to hold her, so those were sweet sweet scenes. Another thing that was funny, I thought it was so funny and cute that Oscar gave Drew the glass that him and Josslyn stole from him in order to get a DNA test. And Drew had to laugh himself because he was like, that's my boy. You know, it was so cute. I'm like, okay, they really thought that out. That was a nice gesture. I really liked that. Mom got close to nothing, but she got Mr. Bear because she bought Mr. Bear, which is literally a teddy bear, for him to keep him safe and so he'd feel secure. And he basically wants her to feel that way, and that's why he gave Mr. Bear back to her. Kim is just so sad, you guys. Like, I don't know if Kim has that effect on you guys, but I definitely feel her pain. And that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get too in depth with that. This woman is losing her mind. She don't know whether she's coming or going. She is devastated by the loss, and it's on a whole nother effect. It's on a whole nother level for her because she spent all of Oscar's life with him. She watched him grow up. She's seen his first teeth come through. She's seen him crawl. She's seen him say his first words, you know, take his first steps. Like, she's seen all of that. So now it's like him not being in his world is just too much for her. It's too much to even think about. Then we get to the freaking shares, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, so they ain't mentioned shares before, so most likely this finna be a bombshell, right? And Alexa's face just gave it away. But before that happened, I'm thinking like, he done gave all this unnecessary stuff to people. Ain't no way he's giving them shares. I'm like, this is where Shiloh comes in. I started putting the pieces together right then and there. I'm like, so I'm guessing that in order for Oscar to stay at the DOD house, he had to give his shares away. And I'm sure Shiloh made it seem like it was Oscar's idea. But I was so freaking pissed, you guys. Pissed. Like, I said, what? They done made Oscar dead and dumb. Oscar was never this dumb in when he was alive. Like, so I'm like, the writers, y'all dropped the ball on that, because we all know Oscar wasn't this dumb. Like, but he was a kid at the same time, so I guess that's how they justify it. I'm pissed. I was like,
Damn.
so I guess Shiloh has Quartermain shares, and I don't know how the Quartermains are gonna go about fighting it, but they definitely have more money than Shiloh does. But I can't say they really have more resources, but because Shiloh has a way of getting around on the law and turning things to his own effect. So we'll see what happens from there. I'm just like, oh my God, makes sense. Of course Oscar wouldn't live there for free. Of course. Okay, that's all. But you guys, you should have seen how this man rolled up in the Quartermain mansion, so smug. Like, I'm gonna call him Smuggle, because every time I see him, he has that smug old look that I cannot stand. So he rolled up in there, and I'm just thinking, how was he able to just walk right into the Quartermain mansion? Like, Ain't no way he was just able to like just stroll up in there. And I mean, don't they have guards? Like, they don't keep locks on the door. How was he able to just walk in? And I get that they were there to do a reading of Oscar's will, so people was invited because of that, and nobody knew who was on the guest list. But isn't there a lookout for Shiloh? I mean, he's hurt multiple people within the Quartermain and Corinthos family. You would think it would be some people that wouldn't be allowed on the premises, and he would be one of them, you know. But I guess the Quartermains have a new fight on their hands. This man, he keeps winning, and I don't see how. So I'll be glad when he's gone. That's all I'm gonna say. You guys comment about today's episode. Let me know how you feel. I was missing Hayden today. She just came back yesterday, so I was hoping to have seen more scenes with her today, but she didn't. Let me know if you guys missed her today. Let me know how you feel about Sasha and Michael. That's who I really want to know about. Do you feel like they'd make a good couple, or are you guys rooting for Michael and Willow? Or do you think they should bring somebody completely different from Michael? As for me, at my house, I feel like they should have put Michael with Maxie. Like, I get that Maxie and Michael have an age difference, but they're grown now. It's not like she was fiending over this little boy when he was little. Like, they're grown. They're on a new level. Like, Michael's CEO of a major company. Maxie is doing well for herself. Like, they both know how it is to lose people that you love. Like, put these two together. We don't want to see Maxie and Peter. I'ma just say I don't want to see Maxie and Peter. But Michael and Maxie definitely had chemistry, and Chad Duell himself said in an interview that he would love to work with Kirsten Storms. He feels like her character and his character would do well together. He would like for them to be in a relationship. So once again, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
Hey, I finally made my mind, know that I can't go back broke. They saying that my time up, my back against the ropes. I hustle, got